Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. You're listening to our Dungeons and Dragons game. As always, I'm your host, the Dungeon Master, or DM for short. And in this one, the prologue is that Arthur and Habishi had a race, but Habishi was too fast. Um, the main plot is that the heroes find a coliseum after the race, and they enter it, and there's a hot female monster with pink skin who appears before them. She attacks the party unarmed. She's a monk, so most of her attacks involve grappling and punching. She pins Arthur down, and he enjoys it. Habishi sees this, and it ruins everything Arthur had accomplished between the two of them. Habishi tells Arthur she hopes he and the pink skinned monster will be very happy together. Arthur asks what he did that was so bad, but Habishi isn't talking to him. Anyways, so Arthur's pheromones work on the monster, and Muma, the pink skinned girl, joins the party, much to Habishi's displeasure. She follows the PCs around and refers to Arthur as my lord. Muma leads the PCs through an iron gate, and Habishi says she doesn't think any of them should be trusting her. Muma says Habishi is just jealous and that she'd never hurt Arthur unless he was into it. Anyways, Muma warns the PCs about an upcoming trap. The hallway they enter has carvings on either side, including more of those dragon statues. So the PCs must make saving throws or be hit by blasts of energy. After this, they come to a room with a fountain. Here, they are ambushed by were spiders. These dark skinned enemies remind the PCs of drow, but in their hybrid form, they have 4 arms and a spider like head. The PCs fight them, only for the were spiders to turn into a swarm. Some of them scurry off, and if just one survives, it can eventually regrow into the original were spider again, making them extremely difficult to kill. After the PCs have killed the majority of the spider swarms, they fight more blue lizard folk, and then floor tiles give way as part of another trap. After that, more iron gates open, and more lizard men and ogres attack the PCs. These ogres each have a spiked ball made of the metal that each PC has a weakness to. Each spiked ball is at the end of a long steel chain. The ogres swing these weapons, bringing them down from afar. This new attack actually works pretty well, and it's Muma who saves the heroes by defeating the ogres. The heroes are attacked by another wave of ogres, so they push a pillar over, crushing their enemies. After that, a suit of armor gets up. It seems to be empty at first, but then an invisible foe materializes within. It looks like a huge skeleton of some sort. Whatever this undead thing is, it summons a weird glowing sword and attacks the heroes. It slashes at them, cackling in its high pitched voice every time it lands a hit. Claude gets in close, and the undead enemy's shield has a face on it, which opens its mouth and spits something at him. But the elven werewolf dodges the attack. The corners of the square room have chains in them, so Muma climbs them, and when the undead villain draws close, she dives off of them, dropping onto him elbow first, attacking his exposed skull. Arthur says, "Off the top turnbuckle." Nobody here realizes what he's referencing since he's the only one from the future. Eventually, the party defeats this villain and his skull pops off. Several other body parts come off, and at one point, he's just legs and a pelvis. Guts can be seen in his midsection. A putrid, orangish colored organ bursts, and then the remainder of him falls apart. It's very strange. Once he's defeated, the chains in the corners activate and the room is pulled upwards. More of these were spiders crawl up and attack the heroes. The PCs defeat them, only to then be attacked by lizard folk. Arthur says he's getting really tired of reptilians today. Once the room stops moving, the PCs enter a new area with more statues on the wall and more energy blasts that need to be dodged. They fight the unusual enemies and enter an area where the wall carvings differ. These carvings depict a beautiful elven woman wearing a crown. This room is also adorned by large braziers, let's say braziers, big bowls that contain fire. At any rate, sitting on the throne in here is a large man with long brown hair and a brown beard. He says that many lizard folk, ogres, were-spiders, etc., have tried to challenge him for the red piece of the rod, but thus far all have failed. The PCs tell him they need the rod, but he doesn't care about their quest. He attacks them while they're attempting diplomacy. He's actually insanely powerful. He practically beats them to death. But since he's not using any metal the heroes have a weakness to, their regeneration kicks in and they get back on their feet. The exception to this is Arthur, who still has Excalibur's scabbard. That prevents him from taking most damage. This annoys the villain, who says, "Let me show you my true power." It turns out he's actually a prismatic dragon, and he just used the polymorph ability to look like he did. So he hulks out, becoming a dragon before their eyes. As he is transforming, the heroes try to fall back. He attacks them, destroying a palace wall, which the heroes then use to escape. He chases them back to the lake area from earlier. When Arthur's Spelljammer sees the prismatic dragon flying around, they use the communication device from the Moon Kingdom. Excuse me. They use the communication device that the Moon Kingdom gave them. They check in on the PCs and see how badly things are going. So the Spelljammer sets a course for that area to try to lend a hand. Amara Dracontos, aka Harwin, uses her abilities to absorb the properties of the enemy and take on the characteristics of a prismatic dragon herself. She and the villain fight on equal terms until both of them are at death's door. Arthur runs into his quarters on the Spelljammer and trades the Phoenix sword for the club he was given. He runs back to where Amara is and uses the handle end of the club on her, healing her wounds. Together, the PCs kill the dragon, but Amara is beyond sad that she'll have scales and fangs for the rest of her life. Arthur tries to console her, but she's unconsolable. Or is it inconsolable? Whatever. You get the idea. He can't make her feel better. She says that her race is cursed. She sobs and she runs back to her quarters. While everyone else is preoccupied with that, Habichi grabs the first piece of the rod of 7 parts. She rolls dice, and the rod decides it's okay with her, and it doesn't decide to just teleport away randomly. It communicates with her telepathically, giving her a vague notion of where to go from here and where to find other pieces of the rod. The epilogue is that the were-spiders that the PCs defeated in battle had turned into swarms of spiders and had regrown then into the original were-spiders again. They want to rescue Miska, the wolf spider, who is their lord, from the plane of pandemonium. So they report to Miska's lover, the Queen of Chaos. They tell of the hero's tale and how the first piece of the rod of 7 parts has been obtained. The queen is pleased. The rod of 7 parts will be able to bring Miska back, and the heroes are doing all the heavy lifting for her. So that's it for today's story. I hope that you enjoyed it. If so, be sure to smash that like button. hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.